Welcome to your energy update. It is Monday time, which is where we get to swap notes and I get to just give you the lowdown gospel of Marie. So I'm loving the synchronicity of the videos lately because every single time I go to Monday energy update day, it's either something's going direct or there's a moon coming or whatever. And then tomorrow, the 21st of October, we have new moon in Libra. Now, this has actually come like, you can't write this stuff, can you? We need a big dollop of balance in our lives, don't we? Because Libra is all about balance. It's about relationships, about harmony. My sister's a Libra, so is my son. And you know what? If I want really calm, soothing conversations, I go and speak to them because Librans are just like, I don't know, they're the voice of reason. So this actually makes me feel a little bit warm and fluffy inside. So this is what this video is going to be touching on and also talking about the energies that are going on right now, which may be similar to what you're experiencing, right? So let me just speak about Gospel of Marie, what's been going on my end, and I'm feeling a very, very it's subtle, yet it's still very, very powerful, that I'm getting a complete change in I'm getting a complete change in my goggles. So if I take these off and put on another pair of glasses, I'm seeing life differently now. And I feel that it's really, really important to share here that I feel that the hard work that you've done is really, really kind of underway now. And I think that you can rest back a little bit and just receive, because I feel like everything that you've done and pitched up to and everything like that, let it be shown to you, because that's kind of like how it rolls. We dig, we face our shadow, which is the healing part. Which is basically us kind of giving our admittance that, oh yeah, that is illusion. That's what healing is, facing your shadow. And then we go from the healing into the revealing, which is like, oh, look at the truth of me. I wasn't that at all. So it's like the big reveal is like the big awakening, meaning I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe it. It's lies. Whereas before we would say it out loud, but we still felt it so tremendously, this illusion, that we found it very, very hard not to believe it, right? So as bit by bit we've chipped away from it, we really are kind of like, no, this has just taken me to a multitude of dead ends, this illusion and this negative self-narrative. It's taken me nowhere. So now all of a sudden we really are starting to feel like shit. My perspective is starting to change, because the principle of mentalism, which is the first principle of the Hermetic principles, that is the one that I've always said you have to master that first one until you can go on and master the others. You cannot pass go unless you've understood the principle of mentalism. So the Heka codes is obviously a energy and a teachings in alchemy that I share with you guys, that I share with the world. And that is all about intention plus action equals creation, right? So what I'm always saying in the intention phase of basically being an alchemist, if you cannot see it and you cannot vision it, then you can't create it. If you can't visualize it. And that is why your the mental side of you, the mentalism, like even the ego to a point, is really, really powerful, but you've got to have it in balance. That's what this video is all about, balance, because tomorrow is the new moon in Libra, which is all about balance. So we're going to be talking a lot about Maat here as well. So going back to that, you really are going to be working a little less harder. Just let it come to you. I started to see things in my life, and it's more like a habit, I think, that has kind of come up. This may be the same as what you've been feeling. I read instruction manuals, the last page, because I can't be asked to read the whole thing. And I'm like, I don't know how this works. That's kind of my energy in a nutshell. I don't like reading small print. I'm such an Aquarian. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Paperwork. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to know. I just basically, I'm too busy jumping way ahead. And that can be a little bit of a shadow trait of mine. Yes, I'm a visionary. Yes, I'm down there. But sometimes I can be down there because I don't want to deal with the stuff here. But sometimes I'm down there because I have dealt with the stuff and now I'm coasting, right? This is about balance, right? So I know when I'm imbalanced. But now what's happened is that has shifted, and I'm starting to pick up books off my shelf and things like that I bought ages ago, and I read the front page and I was like, nah, rubbish, not doing that. Even down to certain avenues that I wanted to explore in my life as a conscious creator. I'm like, no, I can see that's going to go wrong. I've been here before. No, absolutely not. And now what's happening is those refusals of those options in my life, I'm now entertaining them, and I'm going, this is actually turning out okay. I thought that it was really a dead end, but it was the ego mind saying, no, 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 you're going to die. Don't go down that road. Don't go down that road. And of course, I believe my ego mind. It was so deep and ingrained that I would never have known that it was actually an illusion. So what's happening now is I'm coming into this office and I'm going, look at this. Oh my God, look at that. And things that I'd worked with before that didn't work for me, all of a sudden are working. So this backs up the fact that we know as alchemists, we know as conscious creators, that everything that we ask for, everything that we calling in, no need. We need to call it up because everything that you want is within you. If you desire it, it means you've had it before, right? And that is the difference, right? We know that on paper, but what's actually happening now is it's becoming embodied. We knew it up here, now we're really feeling it. And that kind of like approach and understanding I'm sharing with you is now being seen and felt in your life, and you're going, wow. And that's why I'm saying to you, just watch the movies. Just see Divine Feminine, it comes to you. You don't chase, you attract. Like all of this that we've known for lifetimes is basically, starting to really land. And we're like, right, okay, so we're getting somewhere now. So let's get into the new moon in Libra, because I've got a lot to share with you on this today. So restoration of harmony within. This is what the moon's going to bring to you because it's Libra. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all about balancing the scales. Now we know Libra's about relationships as well. So the biggest relationship that you're going to be really working on is the one with yourself. That's your twin flame relationship. Okay, the beloved you seek is you. Look in the mirror. So now this is gonna, when we change our relationships with ourselves and we start to shift position on that, well, guess what? The relationships that you have out there are going to have to change as well. Some will come with you, some will not, right? And that's okay because this is now bringing in the energy of Isis, because remember, we're still in Isis's month. She tells me all the time, she is death, rebirth, and resurrection. You have to let go of something every single time. You must be in a state of allowance to allow what goes on in your life, alchemy, allow it to move through the cycles. Intention, oh, there's a beautiful idea. Let it become an action phase. Let's action it. No fear there. And then creation happens, right? So she's all about these cycles. So right now it's a question of actually us just sitting on our hands and letting those cycles unfold, right? So now when we go through that with relationships, it's like almost letting them go and not being fearful to ignite or reach out or connect with new relationships where you're like, I want to be part of that community. I really dig him or I really dig her. I really like that conversation. Do you know what I mean? And like reaching out and making new friends in this life, because this is what it's all about. So that relationship with self is going to definitely dictate how your relationships operate out there. Now, just on a mirror basis, right? Every relationship in your life is a mirror to what's going on inside of you. So there may be certain relationships in your life that don't need to be gotten rid of, but they're the relationships that are always going to show you your shit because that's how it rolls. My son is a Libra, love him. We are soulmates. I think that he's definitely in my twin flame frequency because we were married in past lives. Weird, not weird. But like, that's how we roll. I can chat to Bevan and it's just kumbaya, man. Ava, I adore my daughter. We're so close. We have the best time together. But her relationship, she's Scorpio. So she shines all my shit back to me that I don't want to see. And I also do it to her as well. Found that out the other day. But it's so our wheel can turn. So she's got this, like, we've both got this dark divine feminine that triggers each other when we need to go through the growth phase. Whereas Bevan is my safe space and he just talks, it's the voice of reason. He talks me down from the ledge and he's like, it's okay, mum. Everything's in balance. You'll be fine. Kumbaya. Do you know what I'm saying? So certain relationships are here to trigger you to move, and certain relationships are here to kind of just hold you and be with you. So you need to decide which ones are which, and you also need to decide which ones you need to let go of that you've outgrown and then move on, right? So new connections I've spoken about. So as conscious creators, because essentially we are Sekhmet's pride, right? We are all about conscious creators. We're all about alchemy. We're all about Heka, all of the things, right? We've come here to do big things, all right? So now what's happening is since we've all come out of our like big death work walk, we're now finding each other. There's going to be some really cool connections that you're going to make now in relationship to your mission and purpose, right? They were always supposed to meet you. You signed that up before you came. So this is going to be a really good time of curiosity, play, Don't sweat the small stuff, just enjoy. You might have a conversation with somebody at a coffee meeting or something. You're like, wow, that's amazing. And then all of a sudden off you two go and you're basically creating something together and it's just fun. This is all about relationships that mirror the truth of who you are, which is a conscious creator that creates from a place of joy, and joy is success, and then so on and so forth. So our relationships are not going to be serving the purpose to give us our mirror shadow. There's going to be more relationships popping up now, just reflecting your brilliance, because that's what you've cleaned. That's how much you've cleaned inside, right? Now, let's talk about Maat, because without well, where there's scales, there's Maat, period, right? And she's cosmic truth, law, order, justice, balance. You are an upholder of Maat. If you're part of this tribe and you're here on YouTube, you're an upholder of Maat, right? And if you're connected to Sekhmet, you're an upholder of Maat. So we're being called now to put our money where our mouth is, right? Sekhmet has been coming in like very powerfully. Thoth is also coming in as well, because he's our, our guide, as it were, for November. And that's all about the embodiment phase. So now if you want to equate this to Heka once again, because the whole life is Heka, Heka is intention plus action equals creation. Sia is the god of perception that looks after the intention. And Hu is the god breathes life into your ideas. So he's human, into the divine, into the physical, right? So forget about the creation phase. Let's just focus on the two parts of Heka, which is intention plus action, right? When you've got those two popping together, it brings balance. When you have truly balanced and you've locked in the intention, the idea is now fully, without apology, landed into the action phase, and you're showing up and you're riding that wave, right? In action phase, you're committing. Then what happens is like almost like a alchemical explosion. That's when it becomes manifest. So it's not enough just to be in balance, okay? We have to have that forward intention of just like, now manifest it. Do you know what I mean? And Heka, intention plus action equals creation. Heka is the Egyptian force that ignites those two parts of the formula, right? It's not rocket science. It's everything that you know. So I'm just describing your life as one big Heka codes. So you've been doing the intention most of your life. And now we're coming into the action phase, because it's the embodiment. So once we complete on this for the next year, for the rest of the year, come 2026, kaboom, Heka, magic and medicine, full manifestation, platform there in the world. What else do you want to know? Then you're going to go and chase another creation because you've just completed on that, and then the wheel turns. So you see, it's never about the thing that you're focusing on. It's about being in the creative flow, alignment and balance with you as a conscious creator, right? So now, Maat, as I was writing her name on my notes, she came through with a little bit of a short channel. And I'd like to share this with you. It's just 2 sentences. Maat, no longer bound by the lies that weighs heavy on your heart. You live a life of truth, radiance and joy, emanating freedom of the soul. I'm going to say that again. No longer bound by the lies that weighs heavy on your heart. You live a life of truth, radiance and joy, emanating freedom of the soul. End of cycle, guys. Oh, knocked my microphone in excitement. End of cycle. This is it. So now I want to talk a little bit about removing the imbalances in your life, because I'm all about practical spiritual. It's all well and good for us to chat stars and everything like that. But it's like my focus and my purpose is to help as many of us kind of land and live the life embodied. What does that look like? Why do you do all these studies? Why do you watch my videos? Why do you go and do all of those other ayahuascas or plant medicine or whatever it might be? Why do we do that self-development, self-growth? Because ultimately, really, what it's all for is you just want to live a happy life. Do you not? You want to be able to be seen, loved, acknowledged, supported. You want to feel safe. You want to be abundant. And you don't necessarily need loads of money in the bank. You just need to be able to move with freedom when you want to. You want to be able to be a creator in your businesses. You just want to express your divine energy in the world. That's all. And be supported while doing it, right? So that's life. That's life. Nothing quite full in life as walking the dog on a beautiful sunrise, not feeling lonely, feeling part of it all, knowing that you can go on that sacred mission because you're going to meet all your mates in, I don't know, the Himalayas, whatever it might be. You just, that's what you're doing this for. So we get lost and caught up in all of the esoteric teachings, but hang on a minute. It's about this. It's about living. It's about body. Okay. And Thoth and Isis and Osiris is teaching us about this now. So this is why we're doing it. But so it's an end of cycle. So all of that serious scholarship that you've been doing, the studying, all that kind of thing. I can't read books at the moment. I just can't. I'm trying, but I don't need to. Do you know what I mean? Because I kind of got to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm not doing it to know anymore now because I know that I can access it. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to find kind of like a little bit of a change in your life as to how you approach your what's the word? Your spiritual studies. We're always going to be studying because that's what we love doing, right? But are we going to be doing it from a place of fix me, save me, desperation? No, we're not going to be doing that anymore, right? So Isis honors the death of the old. Catastrophe, chaos brings change, right? But we don't want to be part of the chaos. We want to be part of the calm, right? The Tower card in tarot, and this is very, very powerful. The Tower card in tarot is really, really cool card because it really signifies that massive alchemical explosion and change. Sometimes it's not pretty, sometimes it is magnificent, but either way, change is change, right? Transformation is transformation. Think about it like this: when the tower collapses, this is, in this sense, we're actually collapsing the old structures. Kaboom. What happens when you see a high rise blown up? All of a sudden there's dust everywhere, right? And it takes a while for the dust to settle, and then you can look around and go, oh wow, I can see now. Got loads of clarity. So we're in the collapsion. It's a word, it's Marie's word, the collapsion of the tower. And this is where the dust is everywhere. So there's really not an awful lot for you to do, because you're going to try and run forward in that dust and go and knock your teeth out. No, maybe just sit where you are and just observe and just look and just be like, right, okay, let me gain balance while it's all going off around me. Perfect, right? So allow the dust to settle and then start to ponder 3 things I'm going to share with you now. Ponder this. Imbalance, or rather balance. We're all about balance. We know that when the divine masculine and the divine feminine is balanced, all the scales of Maat are balanced. I've just spoken about it. When we've maintained that, then that happens. A true twin flame trine connection successfully activated is divine masculine, divine feminine, and that points at the top. That's the pyramid. Okay, that's your connection. That's what happens because of these 2 here. That's alchemy. That's the Heka codes, right? So now, where in our lives could we see this? Okay, so think about relationships. Relationships are showing you've got a difficult one in your life, difficult friendship, difficult relationship. Where are you giving too much and they're not matching you up with that? Where are they, maybe you taking too much, and not giving enough? So there's also that as well. That's going to bring disharmony to your relationships. Look at that. How do you regain that balance? If you look at it like scales, right? The next one, creating as a conscious creator. Where's the imbalance? Are you doing way too much and not actually thinking creatively? Or are you circling the stars constantly and you're creating all the time, but you haven't come into land? That's going to be an imbalance. And you're wondering why nobody's finding me, nobody's seeing my work, nobody's doing this, that, and the other, because you haven't got the imbalance right, the balance right. You have to have enough of spirit. Remember, Hugh is the divine, man is the physical. It's got to be a perfect balance, as above, so below, so within, so without. If you don't have that, then nobody's going to be connecting with you, because it's like to be seen and to be connected into all that is balance, right? Another a suggestion, okay? So spiritual. Just in your path alone. Are you way too spiritual up there, meditating all the time, preparing yourself and trying to get ready for the thing you need to get ready for because you're just spiritually getting yourself ready? Or, basically you're too up there and you're not enough here. Or maybe you're too much in the physical world, maybe probably going for pints at the pub, maybe a bit too much. I love a cheeky pint. I love a priestess pint, but everything with me is in balance. And remember, the goddesses always say, nothing in excess. Oh, that gives me shudders. I learned this in Avalon from a very, very powerful high priestess of Hecate, actually. And she said to me, the goddesses say, nothing in excess. That just hones that all home, doesn't it, really? Once we have that balance, things are going to start ticking. You've cleared all the shit out the way. You've cleared all the illusion out the way. You're now able to see and feel what I'm talking about. It's attainable to you now. So balance, new moon in Libra, all of the things. So that's the energy update. And just to culminate on that, I am going full on, full out with the Heka codes at the moment. Heka codes single sessions, Heka codes mentorships, right? The mentorships are 3 sessions, so it goes over 6 weeks. Obviously, the Heka codes are 1 single session, 2-hour power session, as I call it, with the same concept, working with Heka. Once you activate in that in your being, once you know, you can't unknow. So it's a one-stop shop, right? Then you're going to start to understand that everything is Heka, everything is alchemy. And once you understand in a tangible way, you're going to realize exactly what I said. Everything that you've always wanted, you've always had. It was just a lack of an awareness on how to work with it. That's all. So if you feel called to dive into Heka now, which I would definitely suggest because these massive shifts are going to be taking us into November, we're all going to be wanting to get up and get busy now. Our purposes are igniting and everything like that. And we're like, right, where do we go? What do we do? Right? So that is your perfectly inspired action phase, coming into the Heka codes and then getting order for your creation, and then away you go. So I'm just going to leave that with my little, my powerful alchemists. And have a happy Monday and a very, very happy new moon. And I will see you on the next video, or I will see you in the Heka sessions. Peace and love, y'all.